What's going on? I'm going to show you some blues licks today. I love blues licks. I love playing the blues. The blues scale is how I learned how to improvise in 9th grade on a piano. So ever since then, the blues scale has been heavily involved in everything that I do. So you'll find that I use the blues a lot, and so the blues, these licks can be used really nicely over a blues progression. Anytime you have a blues progression, which happens in bluegrass, happens in country, if you learn to recognize when you have like a 12-bar blues form or a different kind of blues form, you can put these licks in automatic. They're ready to go. But they also become kind of part of your vocabulary where you can do bluesy things in non-blues songs, which is a really useful thing too. So sometimes it's nice when you have these licks in your bag of tricks as you're getting bored with playing something just kind of in major or whatever, and you can put a little blues in your thing. And you know, Josh Graves was a master of that. He put blues in a lot of what he did. So if you listen to him, you're already listening to a lot of blues, whether you know it or not. All right, so I showed you the blues scale in another lesson, and now I thought I'd give you some kind of typical licks that I use over and over again, and I feel a little strange about it because I feel like I'm giving away my secrets. I think that after you learn these 5 licks, it's only 5 licks, you're going to be like, Joe plays those 5 licks an awful lot. You'll hear it and you go, oh, there it was again. So that's what we do. We play what we know, right? So here are some tricks. So lick number 1. Oh, I must say, these are movable licks. I wrote them out in the key of E. We can move them to different keys, but it's important to note that this is different than the other kind of movable licks I did. They're movable to a different key. We don't have to move them to each chord when we're doing, especially when we're playing a blues progression. So if we have a blues song in the key of E, we're not going to worry about whether it's on an A chord or a B chord during that blues song. We're going to play E licks through the whole thing, which makes it easy and fun. And it sounds good. That's one of the beauties of the blues scale, is that it's kind of designed to plow over an entire progression, and you don't really need to adjust it for each chord if you're playing a blues progression. So I have these stuff. We'll think of the 9th fret as being our home base for this. And anything, if you want to move that to C, you go down 4 frets. So anything, if the thing starts on the 12th fret and you want it in C, you start it on the 8th fret. So you can move it because there are no open strings here. It's all floating stuff. But we're going to move it to a whole different key, not necessarily for each chord of the song. That make sense? All right. So let's get going. Lick number 1. This is really easy. I'm going to get my thumb up to the 2nd string for this one. I'm just playing triplets. And in E, on the 9th fret is where my E is. On the top 2 strings, if I go up to the 12th fret, I have a 5th and a dominant 7. And that's very bluesy. And I'm going to play triplets on that. And then I'm going to end it with a couple of E notes on the 14th fret high string. That's just to kind of resolve it. There it is. Now, all of these licks, you can kind of alter them a little bit. They don't need to be verbatim every single time. So it depends on what you're doing in the context of a solo, how many triplet notes you play. Yeah, mix it up. So this is not like, no, it's improvisation. So nothing is going to be exactly the same every time. There's your first lick. You can use that all over the place. Remember to shake that one around a little bit. I mean, you can do it without it. Sounds way better if you shake it. That's a shake it kind of a lick. All right. So lick number 2. This is another one I use a ton. That's what it sounds like. So it starts on the E that we wound up on that last one, the 14th fret. Then we have that 7 and 5 we were just talking about. And then a real basic kind of blues lick to close it off. Now this back half of this lick, remember our blues scale actually has this 8th fret note on the high string too. So we could play the back end of this starting on the 9th fret, 9, 7, 8, 9, or we could play it 8, 7. That makes it a little bit more even the next level of bluesier. That's a little square, and then real bluesy. Either way works. I wrote it on the 9th fret, but you could play. It's up to you. So that's a variant. Okay, blues lick number 3. Now here comes the tough one. This one is when you're going to have to slow down and play over and over again, and then you'll notice that I play it in all of my solos. This is just triplets, and I'm walking up the blues scale, kind of going back and forth. Let me speed that up and make it easier. I play that lick so often. It's crazy. I'm going to slow that down. First, so I think of it like triplet groups, right? So I'm starting on this minor 3rd here on the 2nd string, 8th fret. That's first little group. And then once again, I'm going to get my thumb up to the 2nd string because I'm going back and forth fast enough that I don't want to be doing that with these 2 fingers. I want my thumb involved. So next group. So first group, then, and then seal the deal. Get back to the root. Oftentimes with these licks, it's like do a bunch of fancy stuff, land on the root. So you can slow it down, right? Play it over and over again, and pretty soon you'll be like, Joe's doing it again. That's really the only really kind of difficult lick that I put down here. I thought you might like it. I like it. All right, the next one goes like this. Timing is going to get varied, you know. All right, that's how I wrote it. The thing that sells this lick is going from the 5th string, 8th fret, this low minor 3rd, and then snap, and I'm up on the root, which is on the 3rd string here. That is the money of this lick. I love that sound, and oftentimes when I find myself on this low minor 3rd, I just snap right back. Now, the variant on this one is that I wrote it, that's a little bit square. This note here, these 2 notes on the 4th string, I might make those 1 note, but give it a little whomp. So I'm kind of sliding into like that. So then I have, that's kind of groovy, right? Either way. Yeah, I like that. So work that into your stuff too. All right, one more, and this is the easiest one of the bunch. So this starts out like lick number 1. Timing's a little different, but still triplets on the 12th fret, top 2 strings. So I was talking about that being the 7th and the 5th, which it is. If we go up 5 more frets, we have the minor 3rd and the root there. So, boy, that's pretty handy. So once again, this is a shake it variety. That's pretty cool. Now I wrote it just like 12th fret, 17th fret, but you can go back and forth. Then you eventually probably want to get to or some kind of root, some kind of land it. But this is really useful. It's a good transitional lick too. Like if you're in the key of E, it's not going to make sense. But if you wanted to go up an octave, that would get you most of the way up an octave. So, for example, in the key of B flat. And I wanted to get up to here. Now, I would maybe not want to jump all the way up there, but I could play. See if I can find where it is. And that would kind of like work to kind of get me halfway to where I needed to be. So it's a nice little transitional lick. Okay, so I think it's time to try and put these into a song. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to play along with Mind Your Own Business, Hank Williams tune. So this is just a country tune, but it's a country tune that happens to be a 12-bar blues progression, a really nice tune to work on playing some blues stuff because it's 12-bar blues in E. All right, so I'm going to the Real World Dobro section of my website, looking for Mind Your Own Business, and I'm going to the play along track, and then I'm going to unselect the vocal button there next to the play along track. So I'm going to get rid of that vocal so that I can just work on my leads. The vocal's there when you're trying to learn the whole song and the form and you need something to lean on and you're trying to do fills and pads and everything else. But right now I'm just doing leads, so I'm going to get rid of the vocal. I do have to remember that it's going to start on the turnaround. It has an intro. It's a 4-bar intro, so it'll be 4 bars before we get to the top of the tune, and then I'm just going to play a solo that involves as many of these licks as possible. It may not be exclusively these licks, but there's going to be a lot of them in there. All right. Wish me luck. 1, 2, 1. Here comes that turnaround. Okay, let's see what I can do. Here's the top. That works. That certainly works. Yeah. Let's see. Yeah. Let's see, I got to get back to my licks. All right, so a little variance here and there. Never quite sure where to start this one. But you can see that these things fit over the whole progression. It didn't really matter if it was on the A chord or on the B chord or whatever. We're playing the blues the whole time. That's all we're doing. So it's very straightforward to just kind of like develop your vocabulary and have stuff that you can really sing that has a lot of emotion to it. This stuff is really fun. So there's 5 licks for you. I hope you guys don't all sound like me tomorrow. Actually, I kind of hope you do. Good luck with these. I hope you enjoy them. We'll see you guys soon.